it's human nature to need other people. Of course, that can be in the utilitarian way of simply needing multiple people in order to have a functioning society, but also we need each other emotionally, and there's been a bit of a lack of that in recent months. But in these past months, we've found coping mechanisms, and one of the big coping mechanisms is trying to find ways that we can still interact while being socially distanced. Funnily enough, one of the best ways to do that was video games. What's really funny to me is that at the beginning of the pandemic, the game that we were all playing, well, I actually never played. I feel bad saying that. I don't know why, but the game that the majority of people playing games to cope with their stress at the beginning of the pandemic was Animal Crossing. Now, if you don't know what Animal Crossing is, it's totally fine. It is a very wholesome game in which you're a little buddy on your little island, and you try and make your island grow and make it better for everyone there. Very happy, you can share with other people, let them see what you've created. Very sweet, very nice. Animal Crossing is just a wholesome, holy game. But as time went on, Animal Crossing fell out. There's only so much you can do with your island. There's only so much we can simp over cat boys. And we just moved on. However, of recent, we've gotten into a new game. A much darker game. Among Us. Among Us is a game in which you have 4 to 10 players, and you have crew members and imposters. Now, as a crew member, your goal will be to finish your tasks and to vote out the imposters. If you're an imposter, you will kill off all of your teammates, except for the other imposter, and not get thrown off the ship. Now, this game is obviously about suspicion, finding out who's who, and there's something sinister but very real about it in our current times. In the beginning of the pandemic, everyone was indoors. There were often mandatory stay-at-home orders, etc., etc. That meant we had to stay inside. And we felt a community in that, everyone having to shift to a new way of life. However, in our later stages, we know about Karens who refuse to wear masks in stores and will yell at you for videotaping them even though they're going against your policy. It's legal, Karen. There's been just so much distrust within everyone of who's the imposter of sorts that Among Us just feels real. Another big thing is the memes, of course. Everything that gets big gets memed, which is a great thing. I'm absolutely advocating for memes, but there have been, one of the big things about Among Us is that it has rephrased terminology. For example, sus. Before Among Us, calling someone sus would mean that you're saying that an action that they're doing or a certain trait about them seems gay. It would almost always be a man, doing something kind of inconspicuous, but another dude looks at it and is like, that's sus, saying that they look gay. Which is very sad. I mean, just don't stereotype, just ask, it's fine. What's your pronouns? And wait for them to tell you who they like. However, now, when we call something sus, we typically use it in the way of, oh, they're the imposter. For example, saying red is sus. It's almost always red. The memes always say red. But, for example, I could now say, blue M&M is sus. And it no longer means, oh, blue M&M seems gay. What it means now is that blue M&M is hiding something. That they're the secret killer. And it's used ironically, and I love the reappropriation of language. Not necessarily to use as something to make it empowering to the community, but just completely redirecting it. Especially because it was never like a slur or anything like that. It's just blanket sus and boom. And it's actually had quite an amount of power in recent times. I think it was sometime in the last week, if not 2 weeks, Congresswomen Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Ilhan Omar played Among Us for like 3 hours on a live stream with some of the biggest Among Us players out right now. And they reminded people to go vote constantly throughout the stream, and in a way promoted themselves, their ideas, while just having a good time, playing a simple game. There's something so big about Among Us right now, and even though it doesn't do much other than take a lot of your time studying, and teachers, if you're watching this, and I know you're not, please not yet. If you see a certain digit code and it's all letters, and it seems random and jumbled, your kids are playing Among Us in class. There's not much you can do about it, but that's what they're doing. Snitch right here, imposter. Also, the Among Us music that's come out is fire. And red is sus. So, if you clicked onto this video for any academic content, you just got tricked, because it turns out I'm the imposter.